Hello, everybody. This is with Computers here with something a little bit different. Instead of, I'm going to be making a video in the process for a time lapse as usual. But along with that, I'm also going to be doing this live stream. Hopefully, I can answer some of your questions. I don't know if the comments will come up on my screen here for my phone. But hello, 24/7 roller coasters. Thanks for watching. So I'm gonna get starting. You'll notice some beeping in the background. That's just gonna be the GoPro, which is holding my phone to the tripod. Actually, so I apologize if I accidentally drop the phone at some point during it. But here we go. So to start off, just get this out of the box. I've heard from a lot of people this is one of the most difficult nano coasters so far. Make sure everything's out. Okay, so here's the sheet of parts for it. Here's the instructions. Here's the base, and then something that's fairly new is the nail clipper suggestion from Coaster Dynamics. Alright, that's that turning off. On to the next section, which is the taking the bottom off of this base, or the coating off of the base. So, next what we want to do is take all this off. And just no easy way to do this, just pick at the corners with your thumbs. Whatever you need to do to get it off. Now, what I've heard reports from people is that the corkscrews on this model are very, very difficult, apparently, to do. Just because it's a tight quarter to get them in. And then I've heard some other little weird things going on with this nano coaster that I'm hopefully able to find a good solution for. Again, I will be making a time lapse. That's what I'm in the process of making as well, along with this live stream. Now the final piece on the front. Come on. Alright, now let's get this back peeled off real quick. And we can move on to getting everything cut out. Alright, that is that base done. Gonna cut the GoPro real quick. Because as you know, in the actual videos, I never actually show this part because to me, it just takes a while, and overall, I don't find too interesting for a video. But the first step, of course, get this out of here. Alright, now the way I cut this out, I know they suggest using fingernail clippers. I don't find that to be exactly easy to do. I tend to bend these up more using the clippers, but you just want to work on getting all these pieces out. Okay, which one's still in there? That one. Ooh, I saw a comment there. I didn't get to read it. I think I saw something about someone got a Nanocoaster for Christmas. Which one? Okay, cut out the first half of this. What is this inversion called? Butterfly? Oop. Oh, the Mystic Timbers. That's a good. Oops. Steel Curtain Scottish. All good nano coasters. Hey James. Which piece am I missing? This one. I'm missing one of these. Which one is it? Oh, I did not see. There's one here. For how small of a piece, this shirt tab's holding this on. Okay, so this one looks like it should be a little bit easier to get out. Is that all of them? Oh, still another one here. Alright, that looks like this. Is that going in or coming out of it? Can't tell. Okay, so that side will be the side exiting the inversions. This little piece here, I've heard reportedly is difficult, or it sits in funny because it only has that single tab on it. I've heard it kind of stays pretty loose in there, so I'll see if I can find a resolution to that. Next, the brake running corkscrews. So now when it comes to building these, you don't necessarily need to cut them all out first and then build it. I just do that for video's sake because... Ooh, sign's catching. Because when it comes to the videos, I want to try and get as much done in as few shots as I can so I can save camera memory. But if you were building this on your own, it would probably be better to cut these out and just put them right on. But again, it doesn't really matter too much if you cut these all out first. A little more right here. And again, I could very easily add these to parts of the time lapses, but again, I don't feel like this part's really that interesting for a time lapse. It's just pretty much staring at the same thing for a while. There's the station. And for those who don't have... Oh, okay, here goes the knife. Gotta get my sweatshirt off here. It's starting to get a bit warm in here. But... Alright, we just had the last two sections. We have the lift hill, the first turnaround, and the loops to get out of here. Which, these are two fairly decent-sized pieces. That's not always the best thing, though, when it comes to nano coasters, because if they have a lot of twists in them, it gets to be pretty difficult, but luckily these sections of the coaster are mostly straightaways, so shouldn't be too bad having such long sections. Uh, I saw a comment. Okay, there we go. Vortex. Okay, sorry, the chat kind of disappeared there. I wasn't seeing all the comments. Um. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people have been struggling with the corkscrews. I know quite a few people have gotten these, but the corkscrews are just in a tight area compared to the rest of this coaster. There's just some pieces that kind of feel like this model's rushed to be made. Like they didn't have much time to make the model. That's kind of what I'm thinking. There are quite a few parts that seem to have some problems. And again, guys, I do apologize if I sound sick. I am a little bit sick. I'm recovering from a cold. Hello to everyone coming in. I see quite a few hellos. Okay, I'll definitely keep an eye out on that. Thank you for whoever said that. I saw the comment. I didn't see you post it, though. Okay. I saw some. Oh, I forgot to cut out the lift, too. I apologize. Oop. How many nano coasters do I have? A lot. I have most of them outside of Hershey, um, Holiday World, and Six Flags New England. And other than that, I have almost all of the other ones. So it's 30 something or 40 something now. There is it. There it is. Okay, there we go. Now all the parts are cut out. So now we can start the assembly of this thing. Okay. So now, anytime you build a nanocoaster, okay, camera's still in place. Now, anytime you build a nanocoaster, you should follow the instructions exactly how they are. But I think James said to do the corkscrews and everything else before the lift hill. Did I see that correctly, James? I think that's what I saw in the comments. But first, it says to start off with the. Okay, so yes. So I'm going to go a little bit off of what these directions say. We'll wait till farther down the line to put this lift hill in. Because I notice it doesn't really interfere with anything, so I don't see a reason as to why you need to put that in first. Loops and then corkscrews? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because the corkscrews go over the loops, so yeah. Okay. So, make sure you don't forget to start up the camera. So, okay. So it says to start off with this part first. A short little piece. So, that part sets in like this. And then bends around to there. sure you bend those tabs down. So I'm assuming probably that bottom part. Oh, actually, this was supposed to go in first, but should be fine. As long as I remember to get it in. So the bottom of the inversions, make that plural because there's 2 in this element. So make sure it sets flush. Set it in there. Oop. Make sure this is set in all the way too. So I'm not sure what happened with yours, James, but it seems like this is setting in all right. I mean, it's not the best, but as long as the footers stay on top, it looks like it should be fine. So then it's this side of the inversion. So again, you want to try and bend it as much as you can before you put it on, just to make it a little bit easier. So there you go. Uh-oh. Guys, I apologize if the live stream just randomly cuts out at some point, because apparently my phone's getting a low battery notice. But that's Apple for you, so what else is new? Should have expected it, to be honest. Okay. So get all these. Ow. Okay, got that on. I'm assuming next you're probably going to want to go for the brake run. Okay, so this part next. So. Okay. So snake in there. Really tight helix for this. Really tight, so this is going to be something you're going to have to be careful about. Bend that over a little bit more. So now, let's give it a second, get this all lined up. So again, you never want to force any of these pieces into place. Doing so can damage the coaster. So that's slid in. I think I see the problem, but it's going to require... Okay, be careful. You guys see a little... I can't remember what they're called on this. Gnarl. Okay, pausing the main recording. Guys, I'll be back, and I'm going to go get clippers. One thing clippers are good for is if you do have like these little gnarls on them, you can get them out. So just pop this off. Sure, these are all straight. So we can just get that off. Oops, sorry, I'm not in frame there. So we can just get that off. Now it should hopefully set into place. So now, I need this on the other side of that. Hello. So now that's on there. Guys, I apologize if I keep getting out of frame. Try my best. Oh, yeah, I really do love Pursuit of Thrills. It's like they have probably the best non-official merchandise out there. Another good company is Carolina Coaster Riders. I know they have some pretty cool stuff as well. Okay. Ooh, I forgot to start the camera back up. Good thing we're only working on something that wasn't too important. Okay, next it says the lift hill, but I'm being told to not to. So, since before we can put those corkscrews in, we need these loops. I'll do this first. So this sets in here. So set that like this. So let's see. This in there. Line this up there. And then vertical loops. So, okay. So when it comes to this, I'd suggest just worrying about getting all the tabs in place first. And then you can go back and worry about bending all these supports into place. Yeah, like see how this is kind of funky here. Yeah, you can just worry about that. Yeah, when it comes to proper forming, I'd suggest getting rough first, and then you can go back later and straighten everything out. Because you notice from above, it doesn't look the best. From the side, it does. But again, it all depends on how well you want it to look from the top. Because pretty much no matter what, it's going to look good from the side. But, alright, now make sure all these are flipped. And then, now's for the hard part from what I've been hearing. So, again, what we're just going to want to do is we're not going to want to put any of these tabs into place. Just make sure we bend over these supports well. Get it roughly into the right spot. So now, bend this over. No kidding. Compared to a lot of things, for a lot of these nanos, this is not a cakewalk. So, okay, there's the rough shaping. So, a little bit straighter. Okay, it looks like it's gonna bend more like that. Yeah, you were not lying about these being difficult. This is probably one of the... James, for your first Nanocoaster, this was not the one. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna try something different here. Just straighten this back out. So like that. This one lined up. The steel curtain one's not too easy, but at the same time, I still feel this one is definitely harder. Here for the live stream, once I get this through, I'll bring out the steel curtain and show you guys. I feel like steel curtain, rather than being like difficult, well, I guess this one would kind of classify as that. Just really awkward. Oi. Let's get that into place. This into place. Dang. I'm just gonna stop the recording because that's not getting anywhere. Gosh dang it. It's so. Hold on. I need to take a sit back here for a second and get closer to this thing. Something you guys don't realize is I am trying to build this around a tripod. Doesn't make for ideal conditions for building these. Should just rename this how to torture an enthusiast. Okay, I almost got it. It's almost there. Ah, crap. Oh yeah, there we go. I think it's pretty much in place. So how that all these tabs are in. Not the prettiest job, but hey, they're in. So now I can go through, fix these. Which tab is that for? Okay. So I think that's about the best that's gonna get. I can do a little bit of reforming down here now. So there you go. After a lot of struggling, there you go. Okay. I'll start back up this video. Alright. There we go. Time-lapse cam is going again. So that means I can finish this off. So set that in place. Let's see. There's this one. Just round. Set in like that. Ugh. This is not an easy one, I can tell you that. This whole Nanocoaster as a whole, I would definitely say is probably the hardest one I've built yet. Stay in place. How far off is this one? Okay. That should be them all in now. Why is this one acting like that? Whew. That was no cakewalk to build. There you go. There's the Nanocoaster part of it done. Now, as I always finish off with the station. Of course, goes on right here. And the Vortex sign. So hold that up to the camera. I think we can see it. There you go. I'll hold this up to you guys too. As always, put it in and tip it back. There you go. That's the Nanocoaster done. So that's the end of the actual video. Now, as for the live stream, are there any Nanocoasters you want to see to compare the Vortex one to? It's entirely up to you guys. I can end the stream here, or I can compare to other Nanocoasters. Okay. Snow. Okay. Okay. So I'm not seeing any comments asking to see any of them. So I'm going to end it here. So again, here's the Vortex Nanocoaster. But thanks for watching. The time lapse will be up at some point in the next week or two. But other than that, thanks for watching. All right, now how do I end the live stream?